미안해. 뭐가? 미안하다.
Hey everyone, it's Jenny. So recently, one of my subscribers left this comment that just completely blew me away. They were talking about episode 8. You know that scene where Si-yoon spends the night watching over Suho's hospital bed with Yong-yi, and then he walks out through that hospital corridor? Well, they described it like this. Something has snapped in his mind. It's like pure murder catwalking down a runway. I mean, pure murder catwalking? I was totally hooked on that phrase. That comment made me go back and rewatch episode 8, and honestly, it's my favorite episode of the entire series. Everything just comes to a head. All those pent up emotions finally burst out like a dam breaking. And I think most of you would agree that the most heartbreaking part is when this boy, after pouring out every ounce of his soul, returns to the hospital room where his most precious person is barely clinging to life. That's where we all probably clutched our little hearts, right? Haha. Alright, so today I want to dig into what the original script had planned for this scene, and also share this one tiny directing choice in episode 8 that just knocked my socks off. You know that moment when Sion walks out of Jisung High after completely wrecking Yongbin and Woo Young, especially after he messed up Woo Young's ankle? He's stumbling out in his white summer uniform with blood splattered all over it, looking like his soul just left his body. But here's the thing. Instead of doing a close-up shot, they filmed it as an aerial shot from way up high. This directing choice just hit different for me. See, the whole setting around Jisung High, with those high-rise apartment complexes surrounding the school, that's such a typical sight in pretty much any Korean city. Byeoksan High is tucked away on a hillside, and sure, Korea has tons of mountains, and it's cheaper to build schools on hills. So you do see schools positioned like that. But in reality, these modern schools built between apartment complexes are way more common. Actually, my own high school looked pretty much just like Jisung High. When I watched this scene, it struck me how the show deals with these very fantastical characters, like Suho and Si-eun, but somehow makes them feel like they could actually exist in our everyday reality. Si-eun walking out of that school gate with birds chirping and crickets making noise in the background, that's exactly what you'd hear on any regular Korean summer morning in July at a high school. And Si-eun standing there didn't feel out of place at all. If they had only used close-up shots of Si-eun walking out after destroying Woo Young's ankle, sure, it would have been dramatic. But it wouldn't have given us that feeling that maybe, just maybe, someone like this could be breathing somewhere in our ordinary world. He looks like this fantasy character, but that aerial shot made him seem like just another ordinary high school kid hiding somewhere in plain sight. Then, when he heads back to Byeoksan High, they show this back shot of Si-eun climbing up the hill, toward the school. The music that plays during that scene was perfect, too. One of the best things about Weak Hero has to be the OST. I think that music probably played a huge part in why my subscriber described it as pure murder catwalking. After Si-yoon lets out all that rage, he comes back to Suho's hospital room. Fans always joke that when those yellow lights come on, we all lose our minds. And well, same here, haha. In the original script, this part is pretty well known among fans. Suho was supposed to tease Si-yoon in that playful tone saying, "Si-yoon si, are you sleepy?" But in the actual drama, instead of Si-yoon si, he just says, "Si-yoon-ah,
시은아,
are you sleepy?"
잠이 오냐?
Dropping the formal speech. I talked about Suho's wordplay before, how he calls his same-age friend Si-yoon si, like he's saying Mr. John or something. So in the script, he was supposed to playfully say, Si-yoon si, are you sleepy? In that teasing formal tone. And in Si-yoon's dream, Suho is sitting on the bed with this chuckle, and the direction says, that signature smile that makes everyone who sees it feel good. Then he looks at Si-yoon while smiling, you know the scene I'm talking about, right? And says, "You're a
진짜
total lunatic,"
또라이야.
and then casually drinks water that was sitting nearby, gulping it down. That's how the direction was written. In the actual drama, Suho is lying in the hospital bed, bantering with Si-yoon, and then they exchange apologies and make all of us viewers cry. Right? I think the reason the script had Suho drinking water like that was because the director wanted to create this parallel structure, like bookends connecting back to episode 1. You know, that scene where Suho mistakenly delivered to Si-yoon's house and asked for water. The director probably wanted those scenes to overlap in our minds. I think it would have worked great if they had followed the script. but I also love how the final cut turned out in the drama.
나도.
Honestly, I think this is the absolute best scene in all of Weak Hero Season
Yeah.
1. Alright, so what do you all think? Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. See you next time!